Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of voice for radio, and yeah, I'm a little bit croaky because this weekend I've been in Birmingham in the UK commentating the Disney Lorcana Challenge. But you know what? We've got more cars to talk about from that new Super Electric Breaker set, so what am I going to do? Not talk about them? No, ladies and gentlemen, that does not sound like me. And let's start off with a lovely new Terrapagos. A single price Terrapagos, a non-EX Terrapagos. Is it worth getting excited about? And the answer is, maybe a little bit. You see, what we got here is 120 HP, which is fine. Not great, fine. And free energy 100, which is frankly unexciting. You're not playing it for that. But single colourless energy, search your deck for up to 3 basic energies, all of different types, and attach them to your Terra Pokemon in any way you like, and then shuffle your deck. And basically, this is Pokemon's way of saying, look, you know those Terra Pokemon we want you to play? Yeah, they've all got that attack for 3 different types of energy, which is actually kind of annoying and a pain to get rolling. Here's a bit of a hand, and you know what? It could work. Take Pikachu that we talked about yesterday. Pikachu is awesome. It does 300 damage, but it's for a grass and a lightning and a metal. Well, here, you just attach them all and you're off and rolling. And one of the important things to point out here, this attaches from the deck. You don't have to get the energy in hand. You don't have to get the energy into your discard pile. You just search your deck for it, put it straight into hand, and off you go. And yeah, if you're playing these awkward Terra Pokemon, this could absolutely work. Of course, we could look at this and go, well, hang on a second. Pikachu makes you discard all the energy. You've got to discard all free energy to do this, and yeah, you do. But that doesn't change the fact that you can at least get the energy on there. The deal is really simple. If you're playing any of these Stellar Terra Pokemon that all need 3 different energy in one of their attacks, and that is the hook of Stellar Terra Pokemon, that is a thing, that is a rule, that is going to be a habit, this will help you out nicely. And honestly, I kind of don't mind this if we combine it with, for instance, Unfair Stamp. Because you get this rolling in the early game, and if your opponent doesn't KO it, yay, you've got all your energy. And if they do KO it, you go using Unfair Stamp, and your opponent gets 2 cards. Either way, it feels like you can grab an advantage here. I'm going to give this between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I don't think this is a stunning must-play, but I do think if you're playing these Stellar Terra Pokemon, and you're getting a bit annoyed about the attack cost, and you just need a little bit of a boost in the early game, the fact that this attaches from the deck is a huge deal. But we've got ourselves a new supporter card as well. We've got Serrano. And what we got here is a supporter card that lets you search for 3 Pokemon EX, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. That's it. That's what we've got. And this is going to look a little bit familiar to some of you guys. This is going to look an awful lot like Olivia, because it's basically Olivia. Olivia lets you search for 2 Pokemon GX. This lets you search for 3 Pokemon EX. So we've had a little bit of a power creep. Also, Pokemon GX were pretty much the same as EX in that they could be basic stage 1, stage 2. They were the stage they were supposed to be. So here we're harkening back to Olivia. And I got to tell you, generally speaking, Olivia didn't see a huge amount of play. But this does get an extra card over Olivia, which could be good. And, you can imagine how this could see play. Early game, you go and search for a couple of EXs, while also going and grabbing your Squawkabilly, for instance. So that on turn 1, that would have to be turn 1 going second, obviously. But so that on turn 1, you can draw your cards with Squawkabilly, and then still keep rolling here, as an example. Or, maybe you're playing a Charizard deck, and you go and grab your Charizard and your Pidgeot all in one go. I like this, but I do kind of get the feeling that it's going to be a little underwhelming and that it's not going to see a huge amount of play because we've got other ways to search out our Pokemon, and I'm just not sure if searching free Pokemon is enough for using our one supporter for the turn. Or maybe I'm wrong and people are playing Raging Bolt and they go and get one Raging Bolt and two Teal Mask Ogerpon in one go, and they're often rolling and drawing cards with Teal Mask Ogerpon. Of course, I chose to compare this to Olivia, but there is another card we could look for, which is Adventurer's Discovery, which lets you search for free Pokemon V, and to be fair, Adventurer's Discovery did see a little bit of play here and there, and I do mean a little bit of play here and there, but it still wasn't a great card. It didn't see a huge amount of play. I don't expect this to see a huge amount of play, but you never know. I could be wrong. Let's go and give us an ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill free Wassies, because you never know. It could see play in some EX-heavy decks, but we've seen this a couple of times before, and it didn't see a huge amount of play then. But hey, maybe it's a new tool that you're getting excited about. Maybe you need a new TM. Well, how about Technical Machine Fluorite? And it's a standard technical machine. You attach it to a Pokemon, discard at the end of your turn, etc., etc. But the attack here is 1 grass, 1 water, 1 psychic. So again, we got that awkward Stellar Terror attack cost rolling on here. Discard all energy from this Pokemon and heal all damage from each of your Terra Pokemon. It is Terra Pokemon, not Stellar Terra Pokemon. So here's the thing, right? You've got to make sure that you get the free energy on, and that is a little bit awkward. And you've got to use your attack for the turn, which is a little bit awkward, but you are potentially healing up all of your Stellar Terra Pokemon. And maybe there'll be times in games where your opponent hits 3 of them, and then you got 3 damaged Pokemon lying around, and you can use this to heal all of them up in one go. That is a possibility, but I do rather suspect that most of the time, you're not going to be in a good enough position to get full value out of this, and then instead you're just going to kind of be sitting there having used free awkward energy and your attack for the turn to heal like 1 Pokemon. I just don't think you're going to have enough times in enough games where this is actually going to end up being good enough. I think this isn't going to give you value most of the time, and for that reason, I don't think you're going to play it in enough games for it to even try and give you enough value. Would love to be wrong here, but I just don't think it's ever really going to work. Let's go ahead and give between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric, but I am willing to be proven wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I am willing to be proven wrong. A card that is likely to see a bunch of play and annoy a bunch of people. We've got Exciting Stadium, which arguably isn't that exciting because it gives all basic Pokemon 30 more HP. Now, I'm sure some people will be excited about this, but I suspect maybe it's going to be a minority of people. This is the kind of card which is just going to annoy people because it's just giving too much HP to too many basic Pokemon. Like, take Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt already had 240 HP and no weakness. Now this gives it another 30 HP. Bearing in mind, of course, that we do still have Bravery Charm, so it's not really going to be that, it's going to be more. Yeah, you're going to have an extra 50 HP, so your 1 Raging Bolt here is actually going to be at 320 HP, which is kind of absurd. And of course, it's basic Pokemon that can be picked up with Penny to go and save being KO'd. So in any deck trying to do that, this is going to help out massively. Now, if you do want to take a more half-glass full approach, you could talk about the fact, well, hang on a second, it's actually going to really help with your evolving Pokemon so that they don't get KO'd so easily, so that you can start evolving up and using all of those big evolution Pokemon and their attacks, and yay! But in reality, what's largely going to happen here is that people are going to use this with big basic Pokemon, and the fact that we got things like Penny and Bravery Charm as well is going to be a bit of an issue. I'm giving this 4 Wassies because I think it's a very, very, very good card. But, yeah. I'm not sure everyone's going to love this one. Oh, actually, one more thing I do need to shout out here because it is kind of fun. We do have Drifloon, which is doing damage based on the damage on it, and it's kind of Gardevoir's best friend, and this will give it an extra 30 HP. So all of a sudden, Drifloon's damage is a little bit improved here, which is kind of fun. It does an extra 90 damage potentially, because it does 30 for each damage counter on it. 30 more HP means 3 more damage counters, and yeah. Okay, this is fun with Drifloon. But then again, is everyone going to have as much fun with this? Or is it really just going to be the people playing Gardevoir? Either way, this is a very, very, very good stadium. And it has a counterpart. What we've got here is a second stadium. We've got Gravity Mountain, which is very much a parallel kind of thing. Stage 2 Pokemon in play get minus 30 HP. And that is yours and your opponent's. That is both players. Well, it's kind of like Exciting Stadium, but instead of plus 30 to your basics, it's minus 30 to your stage 2. I don't imagine this one's going to see a huge amount of play. Honestly, this is a card where you play it if you're really worried about stage 2 decks taking over. And yes, there are some decent stage 2 decks around. I've already mentioned Charizard in this video. Dragapult is very, very good. But I think with a card like this, you need a real stage 2 heavy format, or you need to have a particular deck which is worried about particular stage 2s, and I just don't think we're really there at the moment. It's not to say it's never going to see play, and it's not to say no deck's going to like it, but I do think it's one of those where you need specific reasons to play it, and I'm just not sure we're quite there. Although I would love to be proven wrong. Let's give it an ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill free Wassies, because there's still absolutely potential here. I just don't think it's going to see anywhere near as much play as Exciting Stadium. So there we go. You've been told. You know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of these new cards. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.